Yo, 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 yo. What is good, people? Week 9 of the EPL is in the books. So you know it's time for the EPL review show here on Jason Gooner TV. It's your host, Jason Gooner. And you know what time it is, people. We're going to break down all the fixtures for the week, talk about everything that went on in the games. Yeah, man. Talk about what the league is looking like after 9 weeks. I mean, what, 38 games, nine, almost a quarter of the way through, call it. And yeah, we're getting a little bit of a picture of what the league is looking like this season. Yeah, and it's quite interesting. I think, as is custom here when we start the show each week, we just want to see, based on who is in the building from early, if your side was able to get 3 points this week, go ahead and drop your threes in the comment section. Drop your threes in the comment section. Bless up Juras in the building from early. Bless up to Joseph Brown. Terrible week for my picks, Jaja. Joseph Brown, you are not alone, my friend. You are not alone. There were very few with some good picks this week, Very few. A lot of us had some problems. Bless up to DJ Gigs in the building from early. Big up yourself. Like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, man. Make them know. Make them know. Make them know. Make them know we're there to discuss the EPL week 9. You don't know the thing said. Chad, big up yourself, Every time, Big up yourself, Chaddy, in the building. Hope all is well, bro. We are on top of the league, my friend. Yeah, man. Big up to the chat as well. Yeah, big up to Chad. Foundation member, Don't know Chad is a busy man with all those kids. I can only imagine. All right. So yeah, people, it was a eventful weekend, some results were maybe what we thought would happen. Others were very different from what we thought would happen. But it was an interesting week. But this week, obviously, the EPL is what we cover here. But first, listen, before I get going into the show, into the football, I have to mention, as Joseph Brown said, just see it. I'm about to mention this as well, Joseph. Prayers up for Jamaica as well. Send them your blessings. Yeah, so look, I have my parents are there, they're in Kingston. They have done what they can do to prepare, sorted out what they can sort out inside the house, make sure that they're comfortable if for an extended period of time they're stuck. But I know there aren't as many there. Not everyone in Jamaica would be in a situation like my parents are to make sure that everything is kind of set. No matter what is going on in the situation with the hurricane. So to those that maybe are wondering how to do that, don't have the means to do that, we send prayers up to them. We hope that people have realized that people might need help in these times and have provided such help. That's all we can really hope for. And people, I just implore you to, try to stay as in tune as you are or as you can be to the latest news as far as what the storm is doing. And yeah, I just pray that everybody is in a decent enough situation to where, yes, I know there are going to be some that it's going to be more difficult for just based on where they live. But, the hope is that everybody would have taken the steps and at least try to be somewhat ready for what looks likely to come. I know that recent developments have put it maybe shifting a little bit more towards the west. It was looking more like it would affect the eastern parishes and the central parishes a bit more. So, look, just keep on watching it and tracking it. You never know. This girl could just decide to not turn north and just keep on going west. You never know. So, my prayer is that I wake up in the morning and it's a whole different pattern all of a sudden. That's my prayer. But look, if that doesn't work out, people just do what you can. Try and get as prepared as you can. But prayers up for Jamaica people. Anybody that's there, we're praying for you. I would just hope that whatever damage happens is as minimal as possible. as minimal as possible. But prayers up, people. Prayers up for Jamaica right now. Yeah, man. Guidance to the peeps in Jamaica. That is a fact, Juras. Them. We are praying for them. We are praying for them. Did someone order a British guy? Big up, big up, big up. Yeah, man. 9 likes, says AJ the Mad. Yeah, man. Prayers up, prayers up, prayers up, prayers up. Yeah, people. So, look, Hurricane Melissa, just take time with my island, please. Please, please, please. All right. So, look, what I'm going to do this week, I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit. So, I realized that sometimes I decided one day this week I actually watched back one of these shows. I don't remember which week it was, but I think I need to be a little bit more strategic in how I address the games, because I've been going basically off of you know, order of games, and I think I'm gonna start doing that from now on with these review shows. We're gonna start with the games that I know, will have the most, let's we say, back and forth going on. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna base it off of the chat, who I know is in the chat, which teams you guys support. I will talk about our teams first, and then we'll move on to the other games and discuss those as well. So I'm gonna try that out as the pattern this week and see how it go. You guys let me know in the comment section, either live in real time or after the video, if you guys have a preference of how I do it. I've always just done it based on the chronological order of the games, but I think I'm gonna change it. So if there's a game that is just everybody's talking about for whatever reason, ref decision, the goals, the gameplay, how good the teams were, how bad the teams were, we'll talk about that first. So we're gonna test that out this week and see if that kind of adds to the overall flow of the show, right? I want to improve the show as much as we can. All right, so that being said, the first game we're going to talk about today wasn't the first game of the week. It was actually Saturday morning. Of course, we had a game on Friday, but the first game I want to talk about is Chelsea and Sunderland. So that game ended 2-1. This game was at Stamford Bridge as well. And we're just going to go and take a look at the statistics, talk about the game a bit. You guys give me a thought in the comment section. And of course, people, let me know. There's about almost 10 of you in the chat right now. Let me know, people. Did your side collect 3 points this week? If they did, drop your 3 in the live chat right now. Let me see some 3s. I will start us off because my side did collect 3 points. 3 3 in the comment section. Yeah. Float in the building. Yo. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. Bless up. Stay safe. One and all. Prayers up. That's all we can do. Is pray. Blessings and prepare as well. We can also do another P, and that's prepare. So yeah, hopefully the people then prepare. Big up Jagans in the building. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Member himself in the building. Legendary. Big up. Big up to Lamar in the building as well. All of Madrid all the way. Well, Lamar, that may I watch, Just turn on the highlights for the Madrid Barca game. See most of the action once my game did done and once Julie game did done, because Julie did have some game this weekend that Daddy couldn't forward to. Made have to some things with it, some business to deal with here. So made have to deal with that. Some of the FaceTime and I watched Julie game. Boy, I give a little story about Julie game today. So them gone to play a next phase of this competition they play called the SECL Cup. And it's a league, really. It's like a regional league. So it's teams from Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I think that's it. Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. I believe those 3 states. So this week, the thing was in Alabama. And we're playing the local team. I think Alabama FC Huntsville or something. Anyway, of course, you don't know. Well, maybe you don't know, but Julie plays center back. Then play a back 3. Is 9v9 still. So then play a 3. Basically, then play a 3. what them really play? Them play like a 3-1-3-1, I guess you could have said. Or a 3-3-4-1. Yeah, 3-4-1. But them have like a defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder. Some of that say more like a 3-1-3-1, right? She played the middle of the back three. So the first half, I think they were down 2-0. Halftime, they were down 2-0. Second half, I go on and think, nothing I go on. About 10 minutes left, coach put Julia striker. So I guess maybe about 6 or so minutes left, we'll get a set piece and them kind of stopped the first phase of the corner, and then it got back into the box, and basically like one of their players tried to clear it and never really clear it properly, and Julie just run onto it and bomb it and score to make it 2-1. Then but with about a couple minutes left now, Julie get run down a ball on the left, kind of get free, get across in the box. Them try clear it, never clear properly. It fall to one of our midfielders. She beat somebody and chip it over into the far post, 2-2. So the game ended 2-2, but it was a nice ending to the game because it looked like we was going to lose the whole game, and then the game, them put up a fight. So I'm proud of them. Them go 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie for the weekend. So yeah, it wasn't the best weekend in terms of results, but I think that fight back today going to really put them in good stead moving forward. So proud of them still. Proud of them still. Yeah, man. Well done to Julia and her team. Anyway, people, I say all of that to say the Madrid and Barcelona game was quite entertaining, what I saw live. And I've since gone back and watched the extended highlight and think very, very entertaining game, and big war broke out after the game, Yeah, man, threes. Chaddy dropping 3. La Marcelos Blancos get them 3. What you mean? On your side? 3. Jaguar said 3. La Liga don't get talked about by you and JD. That's not true, Lamar. That's not true. I mean, I don't have a program dedicated to La Liga. That is true. But I talk about it. I do my top 5 check during these shows as well. But big up, man. Thanks for passing through and dropping a like on the video. Greatly appreciate it, my bro. Yeah, man. All right, so I'm going to put a poll in the chat as well, because thought of something and I say, yo, this would be a good poll question. Yeah, man, drop your 3s in the comment section if you got your 3 points this week, I know a lot of people can't really do that, but Jaguars, sad to say, I do not coach our team. Just with my line of work, it's extremely difficult to always have the weekends to coach. And just based on having to earn a living that way right now, it's just not conducive to me coaching. So while I'm trying to complete the badges and everything, I'll have to make a transition in my line of work as well eventually, because that's really what's holding me back from coaching and being available on the weekends to coach more. So yeah, basically due to time commitments, I am not the coach of the team, but I really and truly wish I could be. I swear. A lot of times when I watch a team playing, I'm like, yo, I wish I could coach this damn team, man. But it wasn't meant to be, Jaguars. Maybe one day my time will forward, All right, so people, let's get right into it. Chelsea and Sunderland, the first game I want to talk about. I guess this one was a sign of what was to come for the weekend, because Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, we know Sunderland has started a great start to their season, but most people would have thought that Chelsea would be able to pull this one off. At worst, a draw maybe. But this one ended 2-1 to Sunderland after Garnacho started off the game after just 4 minutes with a very good goal. Got a ball down the left, had some space, and just really and truly glided past his marker and had a nice shot low through the legs of the goalkeeper to make it 1-0. And, at that point, it kind of looked like maybe Chelsea would have it all their own, but a good response from Sunderland just to kind of let them know that, hey, it's not going to be an easy day for them. And I think, while Chelsea had, I think, the better of the run of play in the first half, when Isidore got that equalizing goal, it just really showed that anything can play in this game. And I think it kind of rocked Chelsea's confidence just a little bit, conceding the equalizer so quickly. Now, the game pretty much played out until injury time at 1-1, but it was really a case of Chelsea just not being able to put away some pretty good opportunities, if we're being honest. Now, Sunderland, they have, if you look at their games this season, they really remind me a little bit of Nottingham Forest, in the sense that when you look at Nottingham Forest last season, and I'm talking about last season Nottingham Forest, I compare the goalkeeper play of Roofs and Sells. And to me, Sells was like one of the best players in the league last year overall. When you look at what he was able to do for his team, if you look at some of those results they got, I mean, Milenkovic, Murillo got a lot of the plaudits, Aina and Nico Williams, the back four itself. But I think Sells was immense. And you're seeing a difference in results this year. If you look at Sells' form this year compared to last, a lot of those saves that he was making, pulling off, he's not pulling them off this year. And you see the difference in the results. And I see a similarity with Rose and some of his performances. When you look at some of the points that Sunderland have gained, and you can look at some of the big saves that this guy has made. And even at 1-1 in this game, he made quite a few big saves again. So, I think he's a big reason why they're having this. And also the man in the middle, Granit Xhaka. I think Granit Xhaka, people, I don't know, but something happened. And it even was happening towards the end of his Arsenal time, where he kind of just like figured out midfield play. Like him just, something in his brain just completely figured everything out, because he just looks so comfortable in that midfield on the ball, whether he's under pressure, not under pressure. He just always seems to know the right pass, when to go forward, when to just reset the play. He just kind of figured it out. And I think Granit Xhaka, I'm calling it here now. I'm sure he's probably done a bunch of coaching bodies already, but I think Granit Xhaka is going to be a wicked manager one day. I bet you any money that Xhaka will go on to be a very good manager. He has that about him, and he's played under some wicked managers already. So, Granit Xhaka, just didn't want to give him a shout out, doing his thing at Sunderland. Just went over there, captain, real leader on the field in his play and actions and everything. And to be honest, when you look at Sunderland, somebody like me where watch a whole heap of football, all of these players are decent players that they picked up. Mukiele moved around, bounced around, but he's been at big clubs, PSG. Where was he in Germany before that? Hold on, let me look on this. Yeah, Leipzig, Leverkusen, PSG. So he's been around, and he's 27, still, basically approaching his prime. Gertruda, he just broke into the Dutch national team, but he's only 25. He was out there today playing. They have done some good business. They picked up Xhaka, Bertrand Traore. He's had success in the Premier League before. Mandava, he spent a few years over Atletico Madrid with Diego Simeone. He's quality player as well. Isidore was a great find for them. Then you look even to the bench today, they can bring on a Brian Brabby, who is a full Dutch international as well. Talby is a quality player as well. They could turn to. So they have players that are, decent, decent level players. And a lot of times when these promoted teams come up and they go and buy players, sometimes you're like, who is this person that they found? But a lot of these guys are people that, anybody who follow football well enough, they would know these players. So Sunderland did a decent job with their recruitment. Lefebvre is another player that's been talented. Just hasn't ever obviously played in the Premier League or anything like that. So maybe everybody would know him, but he's a talented player, very, very good technical player. So they did some very good recruitment. And I think, look, obviously, I would be lying if I thought they would be third in the table, 17 points or anything like that. But when you actually look at the names and some of these people that they have on the team, it's not a complete surprise that they would have some success. Then we look at Chelsea now, and when I first saw the lineup, the first thing I was thinking in my head was, why isn't Estevao starting in the game? But I think that most people would be saying, okay, bench Garnacho and start Estevao, but Garnacho does score early in the game. So then you turn your attention to everybody else who started in the attack. Pedro Neto, starting to Pops, big up Pops, just now, not too long before the show, and he was just saying that Pedro Neto just looked like him a bit tired and then playing all the time and everything. And I mean that might be the case, yes. But Estevao for me, I would have played him. I think he looked really good in the Champions League game. And maybe it's a case where they don't want to overdo it with him in the minutes, but I don't know, man. It does seem like he's gaining some confidence right now. Had a big goal against Man United to win that game. I mean, not Man United, against Liverpool to win that game. So, let him play. And I mean, João Pedro has been bad, to be honest, the last 3-4 matches. So just give him a chance from the start. I mean, he can. Yeah, he could have found a way to make it work. Estevao can float and play that 10 role if need be. Maybe play João Pedro up front, for a game. But yeah, I think when you look at it, I was thinking the other day, boy, Chelsea have a lot of injuries and that could be the issue. But besides Cole Palmer, honestly, um, and Colwell for sure, I think he would help the defense feels around. But besides Cole Palmer in an attacking sense, there's really no players out that I think are really changing things so much. I mean, some would argue Liam Delap coming back as a striker option, but I feel like Liam Delap is really 2 seasons away from, a title contender type of striker, and maybe even more than that, and maybe he never gets to that. I don't know. But I don't know if he's the one that I would look to and say, oh, when he gets back, oh, Chelsea is back. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I don't see it. I don't see it. And I've always said, look, I think Chelsea, if their forward line and their attack is healthy and they click, they can cause a lot of problems. The midfield is stellar, Caicedo, Enzo, Lavia, that mix of players, very, very good. But the back line for me is still an issue. I don't think that they have. I think Chalaba is. I don't know. I think ever since he cut his hair, he hasn't been playing the same. That second goal that they conceded, I would love to sit in a film study session with Chelsea players and hear Chalaba try to explain what he was doing on the second goal. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I don't know. I don't know what Chalaba was up to. I don't know what he was up to. Shaka Boss, Caicedo, yo, BBK, I'm telling you, they're saying, who is the best midfielder? Declan Rice, Caicedo, Rodri, Zubimendi. Why they're not including Xhaka in it? The disrespect. Red Skull are dead with laugh. It was a great weekend, my friend. Sunderland spent in excess of 200. Yeah, people not seeing that. People not seeing that. But the thing is, they spent the money, but like, I can say, oh, Mukiele, Gertruda, Brobby, Xhaka. I mean, these are names that, okay, that's, like, look, Gertruda in particular, like, he was rumored to go some big places, like up to last year. No, he had a rough season last season and kind of messed his stock up a little bit. That's why I'm end up at Sunderland. But I feel like they did a good job of finding players that maybe at one point in the career was on a level, and through injury form, whatever the case is, they have kind of given them a chance to resurrect themselves with this club. And I'm telling you this right now: if Mukiele, Gertrude, how he played today. What the next one name? Alderete, all these guys. If they continue playing like this, it's gonna be a Bournemouth type thing. Where they, I mean, maybe they don't go Madrid and wherever they went, but they'll make them some money. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. Yeah, but Sunderland, man, these guys are for real. You know, they're getting results at least. You can't go around that fact. But yeah, you see, Enzo was voted the player of the match stats wise from SofaScore. Highest rated player for Sunderland is who I was talking about, the goalkeeper. This kid, I think Maresca needs to be studied for taking him off the pitch. Like this guy was the best defender on the team. And I mean, and I was thinking that before I saw these numbers right here. Like Achempong was playing really well. And then I guess it was just set in stone that he was gonna come off for Tosin, I guess. But to me, that was a terrible mistake. I would even argue that Achempong deals with the long ball better than Tosin does in that second goal. You know, I don't know, man. I wouldn't make that sub there personally, unless the kid had a knock and that's why he came off. But I didn't see why that would be what you'd want to do. You know, but yeah, Chelsea, as you can see, they brought on Estevao early because I think, like me, the coach was probably thinking I probably should have started him, right? And then Gittins comes on, he's anonymous. Tosin doesn't help, and he plays worse than the player he substituted in for. This Andre Santos sub for Pedro Neto. I was trying to work out what the point of that one was, but there really aren't any other attacking options besides Tyreek George. So, you know, he just wanted another fresh leg out there, I guess. Everybody else is at a CDM and two defenders, so there was really nothing else to bring on from an attacking standpoint. But yeah, Chelsea, not the best result for them at all. Let's just take a quick glance at the stats before we move on. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, is this kind of something that we're going to be seeing from Chelsea from time to time? They'll just drop games here and there. But I feel like that's what's going to stop them from any kind of serious challenge for the title. It's just I don't see this team being able to be consistent as will be required to win this title this season. I don't think. 1.31. So they even led the expected goals did Sunderland. So, you know, the big chances were the same. Chelsea outshot them overall, but the shots on target, you know, a little bit closer, 7-4. Both teams missed up one of the big chances. Chelsea obviously had the bulk of the possession in the game, which was to be expected, especially Maresca ball after resetting and switching sides, trying to find the openings. You see the final third entries were very close though for all that possession. You know, a lot of the game played in front of Sunderland for the most part. So they were kind of very much comfortable out of possession in the game. But yeah, Sunderland, big 3 points for them. They are flying high, and we'll check the table once we get later down into the show. But this one kicked off the weekend with a smile on my face because, you know, we don't like none of these clubs. So yeah, Sunderland, big win at Stamford Bridge. I think when you look at Chelsea season so far, they had one other big loss at home. I can't remember off the top of my head. Was it Brighton? Who did they lose to? Had another loss. I guess it was away to Newcastle is the game I'm thinking about. No, that's okay. I'm tripping. All right, hold on there. Was after that. Yes, it was Brighton. All right, so I'm gonna lose my mind. This game right here. I don't know, man. I feel like this game it was bad because obviously from the 77th minute on, but the red card, whatever. I just feel like this loss right here is worse. This Sunderland loss. I feel like this one worse. What you guys think? You think the Brighton 3-1 worse or the Sunderland 2-1? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Which loss at home in the Premier League so far for Chelsea worse? The Sunderland defeat or the Brighton defeat? Let me know. They have Wolves coming up in the EFL Cup this week, so we'll see if they can bounce back Chelsea. It's going to be interesting how they do moving on there. So let's get back to the Prem. And the next game we want to talk about was another game that happened that morning. This was Saturday afternoon, really. And that's Man United against Brighton. This one ended 4-2. And this one was full of a lot of action, period. 6 goals, as you can see. Goals from Mateus Cunha, Casemiro, and a brace from Brian Mbeumo. So when the summer happened and the Man U fans are talking about their signings, the only thing missing from the goal scoring chart in this game was Sesko. But definitely these are the visions they would have been having when they heard that Cunha and Mbeumo would be coming to Manchester. Danny Welbeck and his, I don't know how many times he's returned now, but he returned to his old stamping grounds at Old Trafford. He scored a brilliant free kick in the 74th minute that made it 3-1. And then when Castulas headed home from a corner from Milner in the 92nd minute, it looked like it was going to be panic stations to end off the game because that made it 3-2. But then Mbeumo put some glass on the win in the 96th minute. What a beautiful leave by Bruno Fernandes. And all you midfielders out there learning the game, just watch what Bruno does before receiving that pass or having that pass come towards him from heaven. He takes that glance over his shoulder, sees that there's acres of space behind him, sees that Mbeumo is making that run across that area. So instead of controlling that pass from heaven, he just leaves it. That freezes the defender who probably would have blocked the pass if Bruno doesn't freeze him. And that's what creates the goal. So brilliant finish as well by Mbeumo. He had 2 of those in the game. Cunha's finish was great as well. Casemiro, still surprised he got the credit for this goal. That shot was going wide, so I don't know why it wasn't our own goal. But this game right there was interesting because I thought Brighton could have, gotten something before Manchester United did. But yeah, United for spells did control the game. I think Brighton did end the stronger team, but Mbeumo, like I said, put the glass back on the win to give them the 4-2 victory. But a good game of football though. I thought Mbeumo and Cunha were incredible in the game. Sesko was a bit more quiet, to be fair, but did get involved with a contribution and assist on the day. Yeah, I thought Ahmad, a lot of the United fans I know were kind of cussing the Ahmad sub when he came off, but I didn't really think he was influencing the game enough to stay on the pitch. And he just opted to go for a bit more defensive stability. Now that stability didn't really help because they did concede 2 goals, but I could understand because Ahmad wasn't having his usual wicked game on that right-hand side. But yeah, I think Casemiro's resurgence has helped United a lot. Bruno has consistently kind of played how he's played all the time. But Cunha and Mbeumo definitely look a lot more comfortable in this game. And Man United continue to create a lot of chances, people. I think they're up there. I think they're right up there with, I want to say, Liverpool for open play chances created. They did create 4 more big chances today, according to SofaScore. And I think, 56% position to Brighton, 44 to United. Definitely United just showing that, the amount of possession doesn't matter as much as what you do with it, Brighton outshot them 17-13 shots on target, though United had 4 more shots on target, 9-5. You see the big chances, missed 3 on the day. United definitely could have had more goals on top of the 4 that they scored. You see the entries, dead even almost, 46 United to 45 to Brighton. You see the passes in the final third, goals prevented, recoveries. Yeah, so like I said, an entertaining game of football. When that 3-2 happened, I was thinking, could it be another collapse at Old Trafford? But no. The super fan from United that hasn't cut his hair in however long. You just have 2 games left, bro. 2 games left. 2 league games away. 2 league games away. That's all you have left. Who are the teams that can make you have to keep the hair? Paris. So not a bad time to be facing them. Sean Dyche, obviously, you're afraid of the new manager bounce at times, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll have that new manager bounce right now with Sean Dyche, and then this will be tough, right? Imagine they win if they beat Forest, right? And this guy has 1 game left to be able to hold a trip. And Spurs, you have to go there and beat them. Teams have done that this year already, so maybe that will give them some confidence. But yeah, at this point, I don't want United to win, but I don't know why, but I kind of want the brother to be able to cut him here, star. Sunderland, both have 6 Prem. Baleba really sell out. Yeah, I don't know, bro. This guy is a shell of himself, man. This guy is a shell of himself. That's why when people want to leave, just let them leave, man. Jano Minta was a 5.9. Wow. I think he was so bad. Well, I mean, missed some big chance. No? I didn't see. I don't remember him getting a big chance. Passing accuracy was poor. And lose the ball half the time. Channel, I mean, that was harsh. Pure low score except Danny Welbeck cute. He'll come on and do him thing too. But yeah, United, man. Let me see, where did I have them? Where did everyone have United? I feel like I was feeling decent about United before the season kick off. Had them like, if not top 4, like 5th or 6th. Yeah, I have United 5th in my preseason. What the mans them have? Let me see. I didn't get none for BBK. Anybody had United? So my cousin Nick, Biggs G, CC Sports. So my top 4, I had Liverpool 1. Well, all right, my top 6. I'll tell you my top 6. I had Liverpool 1, Arsenal 2, City 3, Chelsea 4, United 5, Villa 6. Tottenham 7, Newcastle 8, Nottingham Forest 9. That ain't looking good. Everton 10, Palace 11, Bournemouth 12, Fulham 13, West Ham 14, Brighton 15, Wolves 16, Sunderland 17, Brentford 18, Leeds 19, Burnley 20. We'll see how close to the truth that is later down in the season. Big up Jason. I can't stop looking at that Bruno play. Brilliant no touch assist and nice goal. Yeah, man. Play was wicked. And the man basically like that split seconds scanning just make him see that. Do you see Danny making the England squad? Boy, I said it jokingly in a chat that I'm in. I was like, Danny for the World Cup. I said Danny and Kane for the World Cup, I think I said. And I was kind of half joking, but to be honest, I mean, as a piece that kind of help your team to play better, like a good link up person. And then I think at this stage in his career, he's clinical as well when he gets chances. Um, and and his technique, I think, has always been underrated. He's always been a decent technical player. I mean, I'm gone so far. I'm gone 5 goals in 9 in the Prem. 10 goals, 10 games, all competition, 5 goals, 1 assist. Had 11 last season, 10 in the Prem last season. He's pretty much on pace to, get more than what he got last year if he can stay healthy. And you can see, like, he's literally, he had double figures at Arsenal one time, and that's all comps. And his highest scoring season all comps is 11 in his entire career. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Well, not his entire career, because I'm not seeing the so I can't go back further. Well, that's okay. But yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think he'll be there. Baliba price should be right where my is. He can afford now. Yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a thing. The guy wanted to leave, them say no. Say play like crap for bring down when them can sell him for. But yeah, that would be a hell of a story though if he did make the World Cup some kind of way. A big baller though. Danny was starting the Prem for Man United when Ricardo Fuller was at Stoke. For real. This man been around, bro. And he was playing from him was young. But yeah, United. What's that? 3 in a row? Woo-hoo. Don't look now, people. Amarim in. Well, Jim Rat, maybe all him did need was the confidence for the ownership come out and say, listen, we're not going to fire you. Just do your job. And the man ever used to talk about that, if people think I can't do the job, then I won't be here. I always say them foolishness that like I dare the people them to fire him or something. Well, we can get the voter confidence now and them start win. So maybe them should do that from a long time. I don't know though, but good win for Man United. They keep creating chances. Still probably letting in more goals than they would want, and for the first time, I think since he's been at United, the goalkeeper finally made a mistake. Yeah, Lamens finally made a error, But yeah, a couple of things, right? First thing, Cunha and Mbuemo, they're gonna cook. So every game you play Man United this year, you better be ready for those to be in a big threat. And they're only gonna go from strength to strength. You can see they're building a nice little chemistry. And I think that this system does kind of highlight for those two players in particular to get a lot of the ball and have a lot of influence on the attack. And they have two very good players in terms of maximizing what happens when they get the ball. Both of them are very direct. Both of them have an eye for goal. They're both gonna test goalkeepers. So yeah, I just think that those two players are just gonna continue to cause a lot of problems to teams. 4-2 win for United. Have to respect it. We have to respect it. Good win, good win, good win. All right. So the next game I want to talk about, people, was the last game of Saturday. This was a 3 o'clock kickoff for me. I think it was about 7 o'clock in England. And this one was at the G-Tech Stadium. And I think Brentford G-checked Liverpool at the G-Tech. So this was quite an entertaining game. I'll say that. Liverpool, they had some decent moments in the first half and everything, but to be honest, Brentford, it seemed like every time they crossed the half line, it was looking like just a pass away, a touch away from really opening them up. And the first goal was something that Keith Andrews, their manager, would be super proud of. He's a set piece coach by trade before he got the job. And he had the perfect long throw set up. First of all, you need to have a player that can throw the ball tremendously far, and Coyote has that skill. And flat as well. So very good delivery. I got up for the first ball, and the flick on was well read by Otara to volley home. Now Kirkes was a bit late to react. He was marking Otara there, and I think that for the first time this season, when the ball goes in the net, it looks like the player's back is turned, the defender's back is turned to the player. So it's not a good look for Kirkes. And then the second goal, what a beauty. Damsgaard, one of my favorite players, played a wicked through pass, and Konate was beaten for pace by Shade. And that's nothing to be sad about. Shade is one of the fastest players, but just the pass and the composure as well to take the right amount of touches, not push it too far, too short. Got a little bit lucky with the ricochet off the keeper, but it did go in indeed, and that made it 2-0. So it was looking like it was going to go in at halftime, that scoreline, but Kirkes pulled one back after some good work by Bradley off the right. And then it went to halftime at 2-1. Now, the penalty was a big, big, big shout. I think it was Coyote as well that drew the penalty. And at first, the penalty, I think the penalty was given, right? And then they had to check if it was a foul, they had to check if it was inside the box. First and foremost, let me ask the first question. You guys who watched the Liverpool game, I can answer this in the comment section later if you're watching the replay. Do you think that, first of all, it was a foul at all on Van Dijk for the penalty that was to become Brentford's third goal? Do you think if it was a foul, are you convinced that it was inside the box? So those are my two questions. Was it a foul or was it inside the box? Let me know. So for me, you can see the contact. So I think the foul was okay, like it was an actual foul. Where I thought it was a bit touch and go for me was if it was in the box or not. Because it's like, where do you count his leg at the time of the contact? Was it still hovering over the line, or was it a bit removed from the line? Those are the things that I think is very, very hard to come up with a definitive answer to that. So I was a little surprised that not surprised. I was not surprised that the on-field decision wasn't overturned, because I don't think there was evidence to really overturn it, because he couldn't really tell whether it was in the box or not just based on the replays, So if you don't think it was a foul, then I could understand why you're upset with the penalty. But someone like myself who thinks it was a foul, I don't think you can be so upset that the penalty was given, because it was a foul. And if they could not differentiate if it was in the box or not in the box, I think you have to stick with the in the box or out the box. I think you have to stick with the on-field decision, No loss since Lamens came in is very important. That is true. Prem predictions: first, not Arsenal; second, Arsenal; third, could be Arsenal; fourth, maybe. Trust the process. Arteta phase 5 plan. Big up yourself, Sod. You're back again to troll. I thought it was a penalty. Yeah, I did too. Soft foul just on the line, in my opinion, and in that Liverpool game. Okay. So soft foul but you think it's just on the line. Okay, so you're okay with it being given as a pen. Yeah, it was controversial. It was controversial. They did say, and okay, and another thing, in the first half, um, it looked like Gakpo was fouled, and that wasn't given. Do you guys think that that was a foul on Gakpo? Let me know. 'Cause that one was close. That one was close. Could have seen it given. I think there was one of the angles that it kind of looked like it was mainly simulation. Like the foot was kind of in the foot was kind of in the way, and he purposely kind of initiated and dragged the foot, and went down. So I don't know. I think the Gakpo one was okay to be a no call. So let's look at the stats. 7 big chances created by Brentford in the game. That's crazy. They're just giving up chances left, right, center. Liverpool. 3 big chances created by Liverpool. You see the expected goals department. Brentford won that as well. Shots were pretty close, 18 to 17. That's a lot of shots in one game. Shots on target, 8 to 5 for Brentford. Had the lead there. Brentford did miss 4 of the big chances on the day. Liverpool missed 2 of theirs. Final third entries, Liverpool had 24 more. So they were entering the final third a lot more. Yep. Brentford and Liverpool. Good game. Good game. I love the result. Salah scored a cracker in the end, but it was not enough. It was a few little scares towards the end of the game. Now, Ekitike didn't have the foil of Isak there to come off, and he really had nowhere to hide. A 5.8 did miss one of the big chance them that he got as well. Yeah, that was this header right here. Should have done better. Flicked header. Didn't get enough on it. But yeah, he didn't come off the pitch even though he was having a mirror. But really, all these guys were Verts, Gakpo, not their best days at the office. Jones eventually had to come off due to an injury. And Soboslai just doing Soboslai things, playing everywhere, right back, midfield, number 10, number 8, number 6. Only thing left is goalkeeper in a Soboslai. So you can go back there soon. Rico get a run out today. That's nice. Pinnock kneel down. Can't run out star. Yeah, so a big scalp taken by Brentford. 3-2 over Liverpool, and that's 5 wins on the bounce, 4 losses on the bounce. Next week, let's see if Liverpool can make it 5 on the bounce. All right, next game we're going to look at people and discuss in a little more detail is the Arsenal versus Crystal Palace game. So first, before we break down everything that I saw in this game, let's just look at the raw data. So 60% possession for Arsenal. We had expected goals of under 1.92. They were half that at 0.45. We did create 2 big chances. Again, another game. Arsenal does not give up a big chance in the Premier League. We had 3 more shots total. Shots on target 3-1. Only faced 1 on target, and we're very close to the record. Man City set, I think, not having a shot on target for the most amount of minutes, but yeah, that shot came a little too soon for that record. You see the big chances missed, both of them. And most of this game was just played in that middle third. You see the entries, Arsenal at 87, Palace at 46. A lot more entries to Arsenal. But David Raya, when called upon, did his thing. I have to give him his props as well. He got a 7.6. Man of the match was given to Declan Rice, according to SofaScore. He came off, looked like he was feeling his calf a bit, so I think that's just tightness of the muscles. I don't think it's anything too serious. The Saliba one, we'll have to look at the press conference and try to get some news. Maybe somebody might have heard something already, so I'll look in the comment section just to make sure. So I'll just on the line. Yeah. All right. So Arsenal, Crystal Palace. I thought Arsenal was quite lackluster in the first half. Even though we got the goal and the only goal of the game in the first half from a set piece, obviously. Second ball basically fell down to Eze, who acrobatically volleyed it into the side netting to make it 1-0. And that was all we really needed. Arsenal came out in the second half looking for that second goal. Really had Palace on the back foot for, I would say, about 30 minutes of that second half. And then the final 15 minutes plus stoppage time were definitely a nervy time for me watching the game. Gyökeres is making this a habit in the Premier League. He's the only player on the field for Arsenal that has a red score, which is under 6, and he got a 5.7. Somebody asked me today if I was happy with his performance, and I said, listen, there were aspects of his game I did like today. I'm not gonna lie, but other aspects were just poor. I thought he was in behind a few times, and his confidence wasn't quite there to really. I don't even think that he's not fast enough. I just think he doesn't want to run with the ball so much. He wants to let it off and get into the box and just finish. But I think at times in this system, you're gonna have to run, get on the ball, maybe just use your strength and get off a shot, because that's not good, man. Only from a corner was he able to get a shot towards goal, and that was a header. Passing, not bad, 75%. That's not bad for a striker. His dribbling, lost the ball 10 times, tried 2 dribbles, was unsuccessful. And his defending had 2 recoveries, 1 clearance, 2 out of 6 aerial duels. So not the best day for Gyökeres, but Eza, Rice, and Eza came off in the 88th minute, played the bulk of the game. As you can see by the heat map, he is shaded a little bit more to the right-hand side, which is what we didn't really want. We wanted a more central 10, but to be honest, when he drifts, the further wide he drifts, the more he gets on the ball. So whatever it takes to get this guy on the ball. But Declan Rice, so far score-wise, got the highest score, 8.3. His passing is just next level. 3 key passes, 1 big chance created. I would love to see the breakdown from open play versus the set piece, but it is what it is. I know that some of that expected assists are from set pieces. That is for sure. So Calafiori, it's showing him injured is why he came off. He didn't look injured when he came off, but Calafiori been playing a lot of football, so it's probably time. But I'm telling you, people, this guy Hincapie, if he play, I wouldn't vex. Solid player, man. Solid player. And Jurriën Timber just keeps on doing Jurriën Timber things. Yo! What go on, bro? We outside, Jamaica playing their favorite team again. Jamaica playing Trinidad women on Tuesday. And of course, November 13 in Trinidad. Jamaica, Trinidad for World Cup qualifiers. Big match. Your guys had some boneheaded plays, yeah. There's a time when I think Lacroix make a mistake and the man latch onto it and chest it. For the man does shape him body properly and volley it. The man try flick ball over man head and go around them. I say, brother, you can't go around people, man. When in front the goal with a bum foot, them man release a shot. So yeah, he did do some little foolishness, but the build-up play was there. When he running the channel and hold it up, it was there. He did things that helped again. But at this point, we need more. I think he would do really good with Havertz coming back. Just so him can, every game he must play. Like I'm interested to see what the man do in the EFL Cup, because Gyökeres is the only real striker. And I feel like he probably want to rest Rice so I can come off. But then that means Marino going to play midfield. So, I don't know. What is your take on Eza so far? Somehow I'm not stamping his class just yet. Yeah, look, I think Ezra still trying to figure out, where him really go like influence the game the most. Because I think the coach, like I think you see where the most red part of this heat map is, that little area right there. I think he really and truly would want to flip that to this side where it's a little bit lighter on this other side. Because he does like to operate, drop the left shoulder, cut in, reverse pass type of thing, shoot. I think putting him on this side, you kind of take away one of his most natural things that him do. Now, I think he can operate there, but too often today, what I saw from Ezra is like he's still a bit unsure. So when he goes into a space, he's looking around, he's kind of looking at his teammates, he's looking at the coach. He's not instinctively just making movements yet. And I think that's just because, Arsenal does play a set system, and you have to kind of figure out where you're fitting in that system type of thing. And he's just still working on that. I think the more and more he plays, the more and more he plays with this team and these players, he'll figure them out even more, But I thought today was better in terms of him getting on the ball. Obviously he wasn't doing much with it, to be fair, but yeah, 39 touches with how much possession did we have? 60%. They want Eze more in the 50s, but I think that's something that we beat Odegaard about, right? Beat him. We don't beat him about that, but we beat Odegaard just for being Odegaard and not being able to shoot and whatever we beat Odegaard about. And Odegaard for me is one of the best in that area of the pitch in finding space. So Eza, to me, that's like the missing thing. Like if you could have the awareness of a Odegaard with your ability put together, then you have a rotted player. Manu is on a winning streak, bro, ahead of Liverpool. Good times. Yeah, man. Crazy. Crazy. I would rather win a league with Manu challenging as well, personally. Because that's what I grew up on. So let's see if it can be sustained. But hey, 3 wins in a row is a good sign. Yo, 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 yo. Wagwan Darren. Arteta's system is trash. And him shouting at players all the time is not good. He needs to sit down and stop micromanaging. Well, I don't know if the system is completely trash because I've seen some of his teams score a bag of goals. And this was before it was set piece FC. This is like open play goals, But I do think that Arteta has overdone it, compensating for what the shortcomings were the first time we had a real challenge compared to going so conservative that we get in 14 draws last season. So you just need to find the balance. I think inside his whole coaching philosophy, there's a good attacking team in there and there's a good defensive team in there. And what we need to do is like meld those together a little bit better. So we're not, we're getting the best parts of each end of that coaching philosophy. That would be the ideal thing. But yeah, I don't know because some of the positions I see Odegaard take up, I kind of almost wish Eze was on the ball some of those times because I feel like his final action, the shot, is probably going to be better coming off Eze's foot. But again, if he's going to be playing the same system and just plugging Eze into the Odegaard role, it's going to take a little bit away from what Eze loves doing the most, which is cut in from the inside left or the wide left onto the right foot where he can make him decision next. And I think naturally, when you're in that inside right midfield position that him kind of play, naturally the space might be a little more open to go towards your left and get off a shot, which he wouldn't be as comfortable doing. Now he can because he's pretty two-footed, to be honest, but yeah, I just feel like he would actually operate better if he was playing on Rice's side in the midfield, But that's just my 2 cents on it. Or you let him play, you put Rice and Zubimendi beside each other and you let him play ahead of them more central where he can, still use his wiper blades and go left or go right or whatever. But yeah, That's what I would do to get the most out of Eze. But he likes this midfield balance more, where Rice has a little more freedom to go forward, or if Rice sits, Zubimendi has a little more freedom to go forward. In this particular game, though, it was worth noting that it didn't seem like Calafiori had quite as much freedom, and I think a part of that was to make sure that this guy Munoz was kept relatively quiet, and he still got free a few times and put some dangerous crosses in, but I think he did more struggling than doing well in the game. So that tactic of Calafiori just being a little more disciplined positionally, I thought was a direct result of this right side having Munoz on it and Sarr, to be honest. And it worked out in the end. Clean sheet again. Clean sheet again. Chelsea fans, don't look. It's a clean sheet again. As I got off a shot in that central area, but it was blocked. Yeah. Boy, I tell you, Ezra. But when that man start cook, problems. I tell you. Trossard was annoying me in the game, man. Neat and tidy. Saliba had to come off half-time, so we don't know about the extent of that. Of decent cover, though. Mosquera came in, looked good. Yeah, Martinelli was poor today, or Saturday. No, Sunday. Wait, today or Sunday? Yeah, Martinelli was poor today. I don't even remember saying Sunday. So used to doing these on a Monday. Pino was disappointing today. Eddie came on at a couple of good runs. By the time the Mosquera was panicking, but Gabriel saved the day as usual. Black Mateta from finishing. But yeah, Arsenal keep on rolling along. 1-0 victory over Palace. Palace was unbeaten a few weeks back, but since I've had a couple of losses, and we're going to see what that did to their table standing very, very shortly. How we're looking on time? Okay, we're doing well. All right, so the next game, people, I want to look at Arsenal. Terrible first half. Apart from the first, 20, 25 minutes of the second half, I thought just wasn't a good performance. But look, performances are one thing. At this stage of the season, 3 points is the vital thing, and we got those collected. So, yeah, man, so many times in the past, Arsenal, most of their main rivals would lose, and then Arsenal would also lose, and we don't gain anything. This time we did gain 3 points on some closer rivals, Chelsea, Liverpool, and of course this game right here, Manchester City. At Villa Park, Matty Cash turned into Leon Bailey. Left foot shot into the corner. 1-0 to Aston Villa, and that was all they needed because Emi Martinez felt like being a big keeper today, so that's how he kept. And Donnarumma also kept really well in the game, but City could have easily gotten something out of it. Anytime it's 1-0 for so long, you'd want that. You'd want to think that at the very least they would. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but Matty Cash scoring like Bailey. That was crazy. Now, when Dia was injured again, Sancho came on and Unai Emery did the Unai Emery stuff. Took off the man we brought on. So Gesson came in for Sancho after about, 40 minutes, 50 minutes or so. So I don't know if that's going to be a big deal, but Sancho probably could only give him that amount of time, probably. Because he wasn't playing badly when he came on, had a wicked move on the line. I remember seeing the replay for. Didn't come to anything, but good dribbling skills by the line. I guess big talking points for City, just not enough to really get something out of the game. Look, they did have the slightly higher expected goals at 1.18 to 0.81, but both teams created the same amount of big chances. City shot 9 more times, double them up 18-9, but shots on target very, very close, only 4-3 in favor of City. So that just goes to show right there that the shooting was really wayward today for the Manchester City players. You see the entries are also very even, 52 to 48 in favor of Manchester City. But Villa Park proving to be a difficult place for City again. And yeah, they got the job done. So Aston Villa continue their rise up the table with some better recent results. Kansa, Torres, Dini, and Cash. Cash got man of the match with that goal, the only goal. Onana back fit, looking like a warrior in the midfield today. Him and Kamara, that's a very solid partnership defensively, and then they got all the creativity a little bit further forward. But the Buendia injury, if it's serious, will hurt because he's actually been playing probably the best since his Norwich days this season. So yeah, hopefully for their sake, he'll be back not too long. But yeah, 1-0 to Aston Villa, big result. We didn't expect it. Haaland actually goes without a goal for once. Can't believe that, but it's the truth. Um, and yeah, Marmoush came back. Only got about 6 minutes plus injury, but good to see him back. For if you're a City fan, Doku was the one that didn't start as well as Nico O'Reilly today. Don't know why the man did that. O'Reilly was playing good over here, and Jeremy Doku. I guess it's a three-man rotation thing. Bob, Doku, and Savinho. So one of them off the bench, I guess. But yeah, that's it. That is it. Aston Villa, 1 goal was all they needed. Was all that they needed. So the goals prevented. I mean, the positive, that's a good thing. 248. Why these stats interesting, man? Because man have more touch in the box. They had more entries. Look how close the touches in the box is. How much? 33. That's not that far apart. 7. Clearance recoveries. Yeah, so Aston Villa, bro. I was pretty much thinking, okay, we need to win at Palace because City's probably gonna beat Villa, but didn't turn out that way at all. Game in my favor this time. All right, next game, people. Villa and City. As I said, Citizens went down to Aston Villa. Then let's put some respect on Bournemouth name, people. So they play at 2. No, they played same time as the games we just talked about, the Arsenal, Man City, and the Arsenal, Man City, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Aston Villa, Man City. Bournemouth was playing Forest at the same time, and they got goals from Marcus Tavernier and Krupi in the first half. And they just came out in the second and had a workman-like performance, soaked up a bit of pressure, bend but not break, and they got the clean sheet 2-0 over Nottingham Forest. So Sean Dyche, I think, taking over his first league game, did not get the win. You see the expected goals, both teams pretty low, well under 1. Let's see, 13 shots to 8 in favor of Bournemouth. 5-4 in favor of Bournemouth shots on target. Let's see, shots outside the box. Okay, block shots. Touches in opposition box. So Villa had 9 more touches in the box. That should show you right there. Third. Okay, goalkeeping 0.81. Ooh. So you look at the goalkeeping. Very interesting one. So Petrovic, Bournemouth keeper, prevented 0.81. Anytime this is negative, the person didn't have a good game. I think that is just for yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the goals prevented stat. If you're negative, you might as well just give away a goal. And that probably stems from the first goal, because the first goal conceded was an Olympico. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Tavernier from the right hand side, the in swing, I just in swing it right into the goal. Right. And say he had an error leading to a goal, right? And I'm sure they're probably talking about that. But Tyler Adams with the smoothest push ever. And even though VAR saw it in slow motion, them still never give it, you know? Where I say sleep I get the better, yo, boy, I float you and me both, brother. Cause me there I lose my train of thought and I think I tired I take it away. Just hard make you want to cuss bad word in a Sunday. Yo, man, I tell you, but then 3 times I cuss him. You see the next time him get it, the man play a pass through a man salad and beat 4 player. Yo, the man that's annoying. Yo, Timber, the most consistent, bro. He's so consistent. Big up Cygnus. Oh yeah, big up Jagans. Big up to Jagans and Cygnus as well. Yeah, man. They might exchange daps. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, float. No feel no way, my brother. If anything, you can all see the reveal and everything on the replay. Don't know. I'm gonna put out the video same way. All right, we'll be out. So yeah, Bournemouth 2-0. Big result. I think what's the most interesting about this team is just like the back five come back, still giving you similar results. Keeper been good. Senesi's been the mainstay. He's been the leader back there. Then you have True Fair. I knew he would be good. I knew it. I saw the guy playing under Henry in the Olympics, and at the time he was at Stade Rennes, and I was like, yeah, this guy will be moving to a bigger club soon. And yeah, one summer after the Olympics, he gets signed over in the Premier League playing for Bournemouth. So yeah, man's a top scout. Remember that. All right, so okay, that's most of the games. All right, let's see. All right, so let's just touch on the Leeds West Ham game real quick. So goals from Brendan Aronson, the American, and Joe Rodan, the Welshman, got this result. Mateus Fernandez got a consolation goal in the 98th minute, but it was too little, too late. Ellen Road being able to celebrate again a big win, and they were able to do so. And yeah, 2-1 win over Leeds. Probably a little upset they couldn't keep the clean sheet with such a late goal, but they won't care. 3 points for them is like goal. They'll take it. Lucas Perry was back finally. He was on the bench, I think, a couple of weeks, but they finally put him back in the lineup. He had a good game. Rodan and Ernst, the goal scorers, did well. Calvert-Lewin doing Calvert-Lewin things in this game, but did last 87 minutes working hard. Okafor came back into the team after missing a game. I thought he made a big difference. Him just being there as a presence, another attacking threat. I think that's something that they will need going forward for him to stay as healthy as possible. Bowen got an assist, so he got his contribution that he normally gets. And Fernandez was a sub that came on to get that goal. So Leeds, we'll see what it means for them in the standings. But they were back to winning ways at Ellen Road, and they were very, very pleased with that result. And that was a Friday result where they could kick back and watch everybody else battle it out for points. Now Tottenham got a win, a convincing one at that 3-0. And it was really a workman-like performance when you really check it out. You know, when they needed to be in the ascendancy, the better team, when it was 0-0, even 1-0, you know, they were the ones taking the game to Everton. Now, as soon as that 2-0 happens, and, you know, sometimes people say, you know, why do people say that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in football? Well, it just gives you this false sense of security. And I saw that Tottenham just was completely fine with just dropping back, letting the other team have the ball. But the problem is a team like Everton, you know, where they have, you know, these three players in particular, and Garner too, that can kind of hurt you with creativity. You don't want them to start knocking passes to each other, because, you know, they'll start to see the pictures a little more clearly. And once they get going, it's hard you can't stop a moving football. So I just feel like Tottenham under this manager, this was really like a management of a situation in the second half, and they were just like, look, we trust our defense enough to let you have more of the ball, even give you some of the territory that we've been having, but we just feel that strongly about that we'll be able to hold out. We'll be able to just stay focused, keep organized. Now, Vicario did have to make a rapid save at one point. I think better it was that kind of reposition his footing and did a bicycle kick, and he caught it well. And Vicario pretty much saved it almost a little bit behind him with his left hand, just kind of clubbed it away. Very, very good save, but a good attempt. But NDI, Grealish, slippery on those wings, man. Grealish had some wicked dribbles in the second half, especially. Dewsbury Hall, I just feel like he needs to add that final third. You know, last year it looked like he broke out in the championship, had ridiculous numbers there. Obviously not going to be as prolific in the Prem, but I still feel like he needs to bring a little bit more to the table. Now, Charlie Alcaraz keeps coming on off the bench. You know, I think he could be a good replacement for Dewsbury Hall if the coach want to try something else. I know he played well in this game, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Alcaraz, Grealish, and my boy the name NDI. It's a nice, crazy little three right there behind a striker. They need a striker too at the same time. Cause Beto and what the brother named Barry, them no make one. Them no make one, yo. All right, so that's that game right there. Everton, Tottenham, Spurs with a convincing 3-0. Van de Ven brace. And the third goal was scored by Richarlison assist. I can't remember who's finished the third one. Talk about me. Oh yeah, Matasar. Yeah, he came on. All right, so spoke about Leeds West Ham, we spoke about Everton Tottenham. Which one of these games? Okay, so Newcastle Fulham, I think, is the only game I haven't spoken about. And this one was a 1-all game right up until the end, 90th minute. Bruno Guimaraes scoring off of a rebound by a shot by Osula, who had come on, you know, just prior to that for Walter Mardino, finally not scoring a game. He had been scoring in consecutive games for a while, Voldemort himself. But Osula came on, was lively, and when he got his opportunity to take a dangerous shot, he did so, and spillage from Burnley caused the goal to be scored by Bruno Guimaraes. So that was a big win. Newcastle needed something to go right for them in the Premier League. Having a decent time of it in Champions League, but similar to when they were in this predicament a couple seasons ago, you know, their league form suffered a lot during the group phase or the group stage. 'Cause I think that was still zones back then, groups, and not just a big league. But yeah, I mean, Newcastle just needed something good to go down for them in the Prem. Finally did. And now it's time to really look at this table and see what the deal is with the table. And then after that, we can move on to the prediction table and see who was the champion of the week and the dreaded donkey of the week. All right. So let's take a look at the table on the Premier League site, because I just kind of like how the interface looks a little more. All right, so let's start from relegation. So we have in 18th position, well, 20th position we'll do first. That's Wolves. Heartbreaking loss for them. They lost late on again. Lyle Foster off the bench. They scored. I actually didn't talk about this game. I just realized it now that I'm talking about it. But Wolves did fall 3-2. It looked like it was going to be a walk in the park for Burnley. 2 goals by Zion Fleming, who got the start over Foster, returning from an injury. Hartman with both assists. one very difficult one a little bit easier cut back. But that first one in particular, what a finish by Zion Fleming. One time over the shoulder, side foot, perfectly placed, no chance for the keeper. That's a very, very good goal. But they can continue to lose these games, or as many of them. They are now on 2 points from 9 played. West Ham, 4 points from 9 played. They have lost 3 on the bounce. I think all of these have been on the Nuno, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might have had this draw in there. Yeah, I think he had that draw. Then he's had 3 losses on the bounce after that. Nottingham Forest in the relegation zone as well. They have lost 4 on the bounce. I believe Daesh is responsible for those. One of those, and the others. 17th position now, Fulham. They have had 4 losses in a row as well after a promising start. They are only on 8 points after 9. Burnley up to 16th position with their win. Huge win over Wolves. They moved to 10 points. That got them up a place to 16th. And they have 2 wins on the bounce as well. But they do have Arsenal coming to town to Turf Moor next week. Should be a big matchup for them. 11 points, 15th position lead. So that's 2 of the 3 promoted sides out of the relegation zone. We haven't seen the third yet. How high are they up the table? We're about to find that out. Leeds and Brighton should be an entertaining game. Everton, 14th position. They face Sunderland next. See how high they end up. In different form for them. 3 losses in the last 5, 1 win and a draw. They're on 11 points right now. On 12 points in 13th position is Brighton. They have been truly up and down like they always are. Draw, win, and then a loss last week. Brighton Leeds, like I said, should be entertaining. Newcastle will play West Ham, a team that everybody wants to fight to play right now. Them and Wolves, I would say. Newcastle in 12th on 12 points, and they had a win sandwich between losses, win, loss, and a draw. So 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws in the last 5. Brentford on 13 points. They are in 11th position. They got there by virtue of 2 consecutive wins, and they are now on 0 goal difference as well to note. 13th in 9th position. In 10th position, Crystal Palace. They have a loss, draw, loss after not losing a game in the first, 6 games? Yeah, first 6 games they hadn't lost. Game 7 they lose, game 8 they draw, and game 9 they lose. They're on 13 points, 10th position, plus 3 goal difference. Then they move into number 9, and that's Chelsea. They have 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5. They face Spurs in what's always a very entertaining game with Spurs and Chelsea. But they are in 9th and 14 points. Aston Villa now in 8th position. They were really struggling, but a draw and 4 wins, that is 13 points from a possible 15, has gotten them all the way down from in the relegation zone up to 8th position on 15 points. And they have another giant to face next week, and that is Liverpool after taking down City this week. Liverpool, crazy. 1 win, 4 losses in their last 5. They have literally been on 15 points since match week 6 preview, or match week 5 review, I should say. They are now on a plus 2 goal difference as well, so that has gotten back to home. But they are in 7th. In 6th position, we have Manchester United. They're on 16 points with a plus 1 goal difference, 4 wins and a loss in Amarim's last 5. Crazy form for them. Man City, 1 draw, 3 wins and a loss. Last coming earlier today to Aston Villa. They are on 16 points in 5th position, plus 10 goal difference. Sunderland in 4th position, 17 points for them. They have 3 wins in their last 5 with a draw and a loss. Some of the best form in the league, if you ask me. Then we have Spurs, 2 draws, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win. They're on 17 points with a plus 10 goal difference, only 7 conceded, so stingy there as well. But 17 goals is a nice number as far as goals scored. Bournemouth, 18th position. They have 3 draws, 2 wins in their last 5. They do face Man City next. That should be a big, big one. And then Arsenal have to travel to Turf Moor. Last draw coming against City in match week 5, but since then they've reeled off 4 straight. So 13 points from a possible 15 has them up to 22 points with a plus 13 goal difference. 16 goals for, only 3 goals against in 9 games. That's quite a remarkable number. All right, people. So that is it for the table and everything. Before we just do a little check on some of the other leagues, see where we at, what happened this weekend there. Let's just go ahead and do the reveal that a lot of people would like to see. Once again, I just want to thank each and every one of you that participated this week. We greatly appreciate it. The numbers are growing, and it's just a testament to what we're building here at the channel, that people are starting to want to become a part of everything we got going on with it. So let me go ahead now without further ado and get this on the screen for you. So we have on the screen for you the winner and the top 5 basically of this week's prediction standings. Like I said before, big up to each and every one of you that played. But this is the standings. We have Red Skull 5-5 with 1 correct score. Big up to Red Skull. You were close to the top this week. You were looking great in the beginning. The first day, all these upsets you always calling were coming true. You called the Sunderland 2-1 win. Exactly, that's your correct score. But you were not quite good enough to get your hands on the trophy this week. Float Management also 5-5, but broke the tie with 2 correct scores. He had the Leeds 2-1 and the Newcastle 2-1, both correct. So that got him a little higher on the table than Red Skull. Then we have Fitzroy G, also 5-5, but Grizzle had 3 correct scores. So he had the 2-1 Newcastle game. He had the 1-0 to Arsenal, and he also had the 2-0 to Bournemouth. So he had 3 correct scores, which got him 3rd for the week. Pristine also tying with 6-4 with Sheridan, but here we do give a little extra credit for having the score exactly correct. So Pristine, you were just beaten out by the champion for the week, my brethren Sheridan. Big up yourself. I know it's kind of late for you, so hopefully you will see this on the replay. Big up yourself, and everybody that played, good luck next week. Sheridan, just to let people know, you had the 2-1 Leeds game, the 2-1 Newcastle game, and also the 2-0 Bournemouth game. The 2 that Pristine had was also Leeds and Newcastle with the 2-1s. So, yeah, now one of the worst parts of my job is doing the reveal for the donkey of the week, and it actually pains me this week to say that the person that I guess you could say won it is such a close friend to the channel and somebody that is always fully engaged when here, and we greatly appreciate the engagement every time. I don't see the person tonight, but hopefully I'm sure that they'll get the message, because they really do support the channel, so they'll probably give it a look in when they have a chance. But people, without further any more suspense, I'm just going to reveal it now. So donkey for the week for week 9, after having the worst picks of the week with a record of what? I don't even think I have the record right. The record is really supposed to be 1-9. So I'll make the adjustment on this because I don't have it right. But I had 1. You only got 1 game correct this week. That's crazy. So big up Empress, but it was a rough one for you. You did predict that Bournemouth would beat Forest 3-0. Not quite the correct score, but you got that game actually picked correctly. But you went for a draw in Leeds West Ham. You went for a Chelsea win, a Fulham win, a Brighton win, a Liverpool win, Arsenal and Palace to draw. You went for a City win. You went for a draw in Wolves Burnley, and you went for a draw Everton Tottenham. So yeah, it was a rough one for you. I put 2 and 8 on there. I guess I was feeling sorry for you, but no, it was actually 1-9. I had 1. I'm so sorry, but you are donkey of the week for match week 9, people. Sorry about that. I had 1. It pains me. It pains me. It pains me to even do it to you. Bless up ball pre. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, I will probably take in your thing tonight. I see you had a show tonight, but I was a little busy to be on there. But big up yourself and go and put in the work, my G. If you want to know anything about Reggae Boys, take in ball pre nightly show them. Usually have a topic where I discuss, and very animated discussions happen after that, you know. So if you want to do that, go ahead and bless him up with a subscription. Yeah, man. Man, thing up, you know. Pristina go on good, you know. From where they are pristine, never they in the running, brother. When I time them pristine, never they about. Red Skull can't believe what go on. All right, so people, I did say, and this part, somebody let Lamar know that we do this segment on the channel, you know, because I'm say JD and I don't discuss La Liga at all, but it's not true. It's not true. And I will close out the show with letting you guys know how the FPL week went, you know. Wasn't much to write home about, but we're not gonna run from the facts, people. I'm gonna show you what go on. All right, so this was this week in La Liga. Had some results. Sociedad finally getting something positive to happen, getting a result over Sevilla. Girona and Oviedo had a 3-all. That's a madness. Espanyol 1-0 over Elche. Getafe 1-0 over Athletic Club. They continue to struggle a little bit. Valencia loses to Villarreal. And that has them now in the relegation zone. Mallorca Levante draw 1-all. Osasuna Celta 3-2 to Celta. And we have one more game tomorrow, Betis and Atletico Madrid. That should be a really good game. Vallecano 1-0 over Alaves. But today, the big one, first El Clasico, 2-1 to Real Madrid. Mbappe, Fermin with the equalizer, and then Jude Bellingham, after the assist to Mbappe, scores what would become the game-winning goal. Chesney did save a penalty as well in the game. Mbappe should have made it 3-1. Probably was never a penalty, to be honest. So Rashid Wallace would have said ball don't lie. And yeah, it was entertaining game. You know, I think major takeaway from it is after watching it back almost in full, you know, Yamal is not where Yamal is normally right now. And even though he was still able to be effective and get a decent score and decent stats here and there, yeah, they're gonna need him to be the Yamal that we know, especially with some of the injuries that him have to pick up the slack for right now. You know, no Danny Olmo, no Rafinha, no Lewandowski. That's three players that definitely would be, you know, having a bigger influence right now if they were fit. So, yeah, Real Madrid, they were good, you know, without being spectacular. But I do think that Real Madrid was just on it in terms of, you know, not having the bulk of the possession, but just making good use of that possession, you know, really making sure to get off shots, get a chance created, you know, it just seemed like they were the hungrier side today. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but yeah, they were. I think last season's El Clasicos definitely they would have been thinking about those, and they pretty much all were dominated by Barcelona last year. So they wanted to lay down a marker. They wanted to, you know, prove to themselves that hey, we can beat this Barcelona team. But I think they caught them at a good time, if we're being honest. And I just hope my hope is just for football's sake that whenever they meet again, you know, more of the first teamers are actually available to play for both teams, you know. So that's how La Liga was this weekend. As you can see, Real Madrid opened up a 5-point gap now on Barcelona. The next nearest competitor, Villarreal, in third and 20. Espanyol all the way up in fourth and 18 points. Atletico Madrid, with a win tomorrow, can jump up to fourth position, but they do face Betis, who also with a win can jump up to fourth position in the table. Valencia, Girona, Sociedad close to that relegation zone. Mallorca, Levante, Osasuna, Celta. Those are the teams right now, I would say, kind of in danger of, you know, dropping back down into that relegation zone. But that is the La Liga standing so far. Real Madrid threatening to run away with things from now. But 5 points, not the biggest gap in the world. We learned that over in England after what's gone on the last couple of days. Now we have the Bundesliga. And the Bundesliga, people, these were the matches in round 8 over there. Bremen 1-0, Frankfurt 2-0, Leipzig 6-0, Wolfsburg 1-0, Hoffenheim 3-1, Bayern 3-0, they keep rolling, Dortmund 1-0, Leverkusen 2-0, and Stuttgart 2-1. That's all the fixtures over in Germany. This is the table. Bayern, perfect 8 wins out of 8 games. Look at that goal difference in 8 games, plus 26. My gosh. Leipzig, second, 19 points. Stuttgart, third on 18. Dortmund, better goal difference in fourth on 17 points. Leverkusen, 17 points as well in fifth. And Frankfurt, goal difference again in sixth, as Hoffenheim has the same amount of points, but a little bit lower goal difference based on the goals scored versus the goals against. So, yeah, that is it right there for the German Bundesliga. Let me just check something because this man, wow, he never play. So Harry Kane actually play and never score a goal. I didn't know that was possible. All right, so that's the Bundesliga. I want to go yet. We're going to go Serie A yet. So let's take in over Serie A now. All right, so I had some top teams play each other this week, and this is pretty much what happened after a hard day's work in the Serie A. We're literally still bunched up. Napoli and Roma both on 18 points, but Napoli has a little bit of goal difference, so they're in first. Milan in third on 17 points. Inter in fourth on 15 points. Bologna 14 points, and Como in sixth position on 13 points. Three bunched up at 12 points. Atalanta, Juventus, and Udinese. And then another three bunched on 11 points. Lazio, Cremonese, and Torino. Sassuolo, 13th position, 10 points. And then Cagliari, Parma, Lecce, Verona, before we get to the relegation threatened Fiorentina, Pisa, and Genoa. Would really be a shame if the Viola had to go down, one of my favorite teams growing up, because of Batistuta. All right, so big results this week. Napoli 3-1 over Inter after Inter got the better of Roma last week. Roma went to Sassuolo and didn't have it easy, but did get the result, and that's why they are back joint top, or basically second position behind Napoli on goal difference. Lazio was able to beat Juve 1-0. That was a big win for Lazio. Their form had been quite indifferent so far this season, but that's just some of the bigger results. Looking ahead to week 9, see if there's any big matches that I would like to see. Definitely will be paying close attention to Roma. See if Bailey gets another start. He started today. Thought he was, not really as explosive and creative as maybe the coach would want, but got another 50 minutes in his belt, so that is good. Atalanta Milan, that should be a good game right there. Udinese should be good. Inter Fiorentina, opposite ends of the spectrum, but should be good. All right, so that is Serie A. Now let's head over to League 1. It's the last of the top 5 leagues we're going to look at tonight. All right, so this was this week's round of matches. PSG won 3-0. Marseille losing to Lens 2-1. Terrible after beating PSG. Another big win against Le Havre last week. They come and they fall to Lens 2-1. Monaco beat Toulouse 1-0. Nice beat Rennes. Lyon beat Strasbourg 2-1. Wow. So look at Chelsea lose. Them drop back to 7th after a draw and a loss. Marseille all the way back to 3rd after one loss, but they're only 2 points off the pace of PSG at 20. Lens, who beat Marseille, jumped over them to 19 points. Marseille 18, Lyon 18. Better goal difference for Marseille. You got Lille, Monaco. You want to stay far, man. Strasbourg, Nice, Guanago. A joke. So that's League 1 right there. Let's see if there's any fixtures round 10 that, sit down. I see that. Not really still. Like the side them kind of bunch up this week. All right, so that's that for that. All right, so now last thing I want to do before I run out of the building, people. I've been having a incredible, I repeat, an incredible fantasy season. At least for my standards, I've never been this consistently good throughout the season. So it was a bit of a surprise, but this week was really humbling, right? So before I do that, let me make sure. Okay. It was really humbling. I wasn't really able to predict the future quite so good this week. So yeah, it's not a good look, people. But luckily, I've been so consistently good that this didn't kill me in all the leagues I'm in. But yeah, 37 points, people. Definitely my worst for the week so far. I was less than the average. I've said it many times. As long as you can play this FPL game and beat the average every week, obviously some weeks you can beat it by way more, but just beat the average and you'll be all right. Well, this is the first week so far this season, I think, that I haven't even attained the average for the week. I got 37 points. As you can see, I didn't really leave any points on the bench or anything. So it just was a week where I was gonna struggle to find points. The minute Sunderland had, the minute Chelsea played like crap, that removal, I was better off just keeping Gahey, because I had Gahey and I got rid of Gahey and I got rid of someone else. Who else did I get rid of? I got rid of Gahey. Team details. Nah, that's not what we need. How do you see what your changes were for the week? There's a way, there we go. So yeah, I got Doku off the team, which was fine because he only played a half and it would have been 1 point. And I got rid of Gahey and got James. So I went heavy with the Sunderland. I mean, I don't know why, because Chelsea hasn't been keeping so many clean sheets, But anyway, I went with that, and of course, it didn't work out. I only got 3 points out of that exchange, and I'm almost certain that Gahey, even though they conceded one, he probably had the defensive contributions to get up there with the points, like 4 points or maybe even 3, based on what everything else. But yeah, the Chelsea moves for these two players didn't work out for me, and Gabriel, my leading scorer for the week, would have loved to have captained him, but I was never gonna not captain Haaland because he has been on such a great form. But yeah, man, it didn't work out for me this week, people. No excuses. It just never work. So it looks like in all the leagues, I'm still top except for one. But yeah, it looks like most people, I don't see the 80s and the 90s and all of those things this week. So maybe that's why we're still able to survive. Yes, I've relinquished my lead in this one by quite a bit because I was only able to get 37. So I think 10 and 8. Yes, I was already down a little in this one, and I just stayed at 2. Sports DTM still have a decent enough lead, 27, but all these leagues the pack has gotten closer to me. Yeah, just a 14-point lead here. And in my league, I have down to 14 points because Nick chased me down this week with a free hit picking. Had Porro in his team, Eze, Neto, Haaland, Voltemade, and Ekitike, and had Van de Ven sitting on his bench. Oh my gosh, that hurts. That hurts, my friend. So how come you free hit? Had Van de Ven and didn't play him? I guess you were thinking that your attackers were gonna do more. No Isak. Voltemade hadn't blanked in forever. Yeah. Well, that hurts. 23 points on your bench. That hurts. All right. My draft leagues. In my draft leagues. All right. So in this one, like Yakwork, I think this was a fixture I played this week. And let's see. League fixtures results. All right, so game week 9, I won 50 to 28. So that was a good week. So I got more in draft with no bonus, no captain, double, nothing. I got 50 points in this. Make it make sense. This team, Trofair, Rice, Cunha, Strand Larson, Isidore. So I had a lot of goal scorers. See, Gay got the 4. Foster didn't play because he had the yellow. So I should have started him. I could have swore Esteban was going to start. The man never start. And then O'Reilly benching really messed me up. Even though he wouldn't have got the clean sheet anyway. But so yeah, 50 points, not bad, not bad. Better than my actual fantasy. Let's see if all 3 of my teams beat my 37. Probably didn't know. Crystal Ball is another one of my teams. I got 44 in this one. This week, this was my team. Dubravka, Trofair again. Timber, Virgil. Well, Virgil get that for defensive contribution. Enzo, Kudos, Rogers, Minte got an assist. Groupie I picked up this week and he scored. And I benched the right people this time. So I'm a low people on the bench. Good. So that was a 44 pointer. Then my last team, Yakins, got a 39. So yeah, every single draft team beat my fantasy, my traditional fantasy score. That is sad. Trufair again. So I have Trufair in all of them. Petrovic, the goalkeeper. So that was a good link up. Isidore, 7 points wasted away. Why did I play these Palace people? Like, I knew they weren't going to do it. So why? Why did you do it? Anyway, so that's it for the fantasy check-in right there, people. So cover pretty much everything we want to cover for the show. No, yeah, Melissa was poor this week. You're right about that, BM. For real. I don't even know what point she get, but it wasn't good. One gonna set Apache. BM say, yo, 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 yo. When it's a Jaguars, it could be you next week, eh? Oh, donkey of the week should go to Melissa. You know, say me, I think about all something else, brother, but you're right. She'll move like a big one. A BITC. Yo, the Premier League table is a madness though, people. I'm gonna show this one more time, Star. This is crazy, you know. Look at this table. This was the table after 5 weeks. You see this? This was 4 weeks ago. City was in 9th. United. Brentford was 17th. Villa 18th. All right. Now let's move on to the current. Actually, let's put all. So this is the current table now. Arsenal, Bournemouth, Spurs, Sunderland way up. City moved up. Man United moved up. Liverpool from 1st to 7th in 4 weeks. And they haven't moved from 15 points. That's crazy. Villa up to 8th after being in 18th 4 weeks ago. 12 points will do that. Chelsea was higher up. They're now 9th. Palace was way up as well. They're down to 10th. Brentford was way down in 17th or 18th. They're up to 11th. So much can change in the 4 weeks. Fulham was way further up. They're stuck as well. They're down to 17th now. So it's crazy, man. This table has been volatile. You know, it was a 5-point lead for Liverpool after match week 5. Now it's a 7-point lead for Arsenal. A 12-point swing in 4 game weeks. That's crazy. 4 wins for us, 4 losses for them. Could have never predicted anything like this to happen, man. I mean, yes, we knew the vulnerabilities, we saw them, but to have lost 4 in a row, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy stuff, man. Trevante Stewart is on fire. Hottest reggae boy right now. Yeah, man. EPL coverage done till next weekend. International coverage this week now, heavy. We have the girls Tuesday playing Trinidad. Obviously, we have more reggae boys to discuss and talk about what they've been up to. So we are doing research tomorrow during the day. Just tie up all the players that we want to highlight, and obviously we're going to look at the ones who have made squads before, ones who have been calling to make squads up to from in the summer at the Gold Cup, who I think are still kicking down the door. BM mentioned one of them right here. But yeah, I have a lot to discuss on that where that is concerned. I see a lot of programs going on about players and what's going on in the space. And yeah, man, you guys continue to put out your content, keep the conversation going, keep the fans engaged. We're gonna need that 12th man when it comes on to the 18th of November, regardless of the result on the 13th. We're gonna need to get one result in the stadium on the 18th, and we need that thing to be full. So, people, I'm gonna do my best when I can to bring out content. My style, people. It ain't gonna be nothing but factual, statistical base. Obviously, watch them play as well. So we'll give our take on eye test when need be. But yeah, it's gonna be mainly based on what I see and what I've been able to gather information wise. And the conversations need to be had because the coach has some decisions to make. Obviously, we can't make the decisions, but look, I tend to think that um there's a lot of different opinions on these things, and I would love for my own opinion to be out there as well, because I'm not saying I don't know who is watching it, who could be hear something I say, or not even me personally, but just the conversation itself going on could make the conversation happen with the people that need to make the conversation happen. And then at least the conversation is being had. That's better than finding out after the squad is picked, oh, nobody told me about this player or something like that. So yeah, hopefully getting it out there in the atmosphere, it can reach to the right people who need to be talking about it. That's my hope. And it's possible, because I know people involved do watch the program, so it's a possibility. You never know. You never know. And like I said, I would never be the one to be like, yo, the convo me did break down the other day about the player and my little scouting report me do get the person in the team. No, I wouldn't say that, but I will say, like I said, us having a conversation here on this channel, first of all, could be viewed by somebody who is in those conversations as far as selection goes. And then even if they're not actually here at the time, someone clips it, sends it to them, or lets them know we're live or something, and they start watching it. And some conversation that is drawn up from the chat or myself or whoever causes a conversation to happen amongst the folks that actually pick the team. So that's how you can have some benefit if you're bringing information to the table that people might not be aware of, or not that they're not aware of it, they haven't checked on it, or whatever the case is. So we are just here to shed some light on the players, because we do spend a lot of our time tracking and trying to see as much as we can, whether it's live or delayed or highlights or whatever we can, just so we can have a informed convo when it comes down to the player pool and who's informed, who's not informed, who's injured, who's coming back, all these good things. So hopefully you guys realize that we do put in some work when it comes down to this. I have watched other shows, and it's like, without the comment section, I don't know how the people them have a show, because them basically I tell them all the information in the comments. Them not say nothing. They don't do anything. They just have a topic and look and see what's being said and say, oh, okay, that makes sense, and they say that. So when I call a name, but yeah, some people it looks like you're underprepared, and you just turn on your camera because people will come watch, and it don't make no sense. Like, it is what it is, though. As we know, this is YouTube, so it is entertainment based. But yeah, I just happen to think that football spoken when speaking about football, tactically and things of that nature. To me, that's entertaining, but yeah, I might be the minority where that is concerned. Anyway, people, enough chattings by me. Time to get some rest. Work week starting up tomorrow, even though my work week never really ends. But yeah, for everyone else, work week starting tomorrow again. Please, 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 people, if you're watching this on the rock, delayed, no, anytime you see this, just know that we're all praying to those with like family members, close family in Jamaica right now. Yeah, man, just say a prayer tonight for all of them, and just pray that the worst of this storm does not impact Jamaica too badly. I think it would be wishful thinking at this point. I hope it just misses it altogether. But there has been a shift from one coast to the next today. Maybe if it does a more western shift, or it decides to turn north when it's further west, more of it might miss the island. So pray that she decides to spare our lovely island tonight and tomorrow. Well, really, tomorrow is when it would really touch down. So yeah, man, just pray for that, man. Pray for that. We're all hopeful for that. And you never know, people. Stranger things have happened. I remember there was one in like '04. It was literally headed right for us. And right when it was about to reach, it just turned north. So look, it could happen, people. But I'm saying take the steps, prepare. Don't think that's gonna happen. But it's possible. Just continue to pray. And you never know. We might be spared of the worst. All right, people. But people, big up on yourselves. Stay safe out there. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And all you people saying that, you're okay because Arsenal lead the league, it's all right. We'll not say a word. Week 9, week 10 next. Big up on yourself. Come on, you Gooners.